everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. This week I'm doing a series featuring the new specialty vellums that are in the online exclusives that came out. They were released the beginning of July. So I don't know if you've seen them all, but over the course of this week I'm going to try to use, I've got 3 cards. There's 4 actual sheets of it, so I'm going to see if I have time to get to that 4th sheet, but you could easily use it in the ways that I'm going to use today's paper. So before I get started, a couple of things. Today's the 10th. It's the last day if you want to subscribe to my online card club to get July's bundle. This is our first project in July. So you have the option when in my card club, we do 3 projects together. And they get the supplies to make 6 cards and envelopes. Sorry, I was trying to see. I don't see the envelope, but here it is. So we do 3 designs. They make 6, so they can do 2 of each, or they can kind of tweak them a little bit. This particular month, because the suite that I've chosen is a Christmas suite, but it can easily be something else. For most of the cards, I will do a Christmas and then another occasion version. So you can go find all the details for that. My card club works where if you don't have to get the stamps, you know what stamps are coming if you want to use them, if you don't have anything similar. And this month we are actually doing some fun make your own shimmer paper. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's up. And then here is the first card that I did in the series. And this has the Greenery Vellum on it, which because the Vellum's part of the Christmas suite, I know some people will just not look at it right now because unless you're doing a specific Christmas in July event or you're very, very ahead of schedule, Christmas isn't on a lot of our radars, right? Because it's beautiful and warm and sunny and we want to be outside. Well, I guess if you're Aussie and you're here, you might be thinking it's Christmas. But for us that live in the Northern Hemisphere, summer does not equate to Christmas. So I wanted to make sure that I showed you this vellum in a couple of different ways to use it because it doesn't have to be Christmassy. So if you missed that video, I'll just show you real quick. This is the piece I'm using today. So great for wedding cards, these particular florals, because I have been on a wedding loop. So many people have gotten married. I've helped with weddings, been in weddings. My daughter got married. This kind of greenery is a wedding hot item right now. So easy for wedding, shower, anniversary, congratulations type cards. It's also good, both of these sheets, if you scrapbook and you want to do like camping or outdoor hikes or something kind of page. This one right here, if you just use the evergreen pieces without the snow on them, again, you can use those on masculine cards, on any kind of card year round. It's just the ones that kind of have the snow on them that are a little bit more Christmassy. And then the piece that I used on the peony card is this piece here, which it looks like you took white paint and you got it on your jeans and then you accidentally sat on a piece of vellum. That's what the pattern kind of reminds me of. So it, again, it could be frost if you need it to be frost. Otherwise, it's just a really cool pattern. So for today, we're going to use one of the greenery pieces. The pieces of evergreen will cut out. Some of the pieces do cut out, and I did do a card. I guess it's on your camp, on the club card. This one right here, you can see I used the dies to cut those out. They will do the same thing on the vellum if you have the dies. So let's see what we're going to use. So the first thing we're going to use are the dies from the Greetings of the Season. I have used these. The bundle itself is Christmas words with tags. Tons of tags, and I have used them over and over and over. If you don't need the Christmas words, then just get the dies because you will use these all the time. So I've cut 2 tags out for this card. So I did a larger and a smaller. And if you go look at my online exclusive videos, you will see that I have a ton. And hopefully you can see that little bit of shimmer. It's not very sunny here today, so it doesn't make it great for filming sparkly things. That is one of the things that we are doing in Card Club this month, where we're creating our own shimmer paper. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I think I said that. And then here on this card, you can see this is the die that we're using. I cut it out of the shimmer paper, the handmade shimmer paper that I made. Here's 2 other of the tags. Actually, this is the same one that I'm using today. So here's a wedding card, and you can see all the shimmer paper. So with this die today, I took it and I cut it out, cut 2 of them out of watercolor paper. So they're a little bit more sturdy. We'll be able to add a little bit more water to them and kind of work with them as we color those in. So that's the dies I'm using on today's card. Here's a piece. For those of you that love shimmer paper, I will get it on my public channel. It won't be until sometime, probably late August, when I get the technique for doing this. That may be mid-August, depending on how it goes, because we get to start ordering that holiday mini catalog stuff as demonstrators in August. So I want to use this with some more Christmas things. But I loved shimmer paper. If you followed me back then, you knew I had a love for it. Now on this card, I am going to change a couple of things. On the original card, I've done this on basic beige. And then this, I ran through an embossing folder, but most of it got covered up. And I'm like, well, I didn't really need to, other than the fact it kind of lifts it up. So I'm going to try this one on Pebbled Path, which is kind of the color of the stems on the lighter ones. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to color these. And if you watch the peony card, I used my water painter and I used it on regular basic white cardstock, which you have to be real careful when you do that. And I just filmed that one. So gotta clean this up. You have to be careful when you use the water on that. If you use watercolor cardstock, you don't have to be careful at all. You can just go to town. So I'm going to do the stems first. I'm going to do those in pecan. I could do it in Pebbled Path because that's what I'm using. And you can see there's one that's in pecan and one that's in Pebbled Path. But this is already on my table, so we're going to go for this. And you just squeeze it down. And while I have this open, I am also going to go ahead and stamp. And these words are from the everyday greetings, which match the greetings of the season, but they don't come with the dies. So you can unbundle it if you don't want the Christmas ones and get these. This just says love you. So we have a cute little tag, and then we'll just layer that together. These are also great if you want to have just friends over sometime before Christmas and just make a ton of Christmas tags. You could just have a bunch of them run out and then just everybody decorate tags to their heart's content. So I'm just going to brush this on, and like I said, you can use lots of water. The more water you use, the quicker it kind of goes. So just grab this in here and just get these little stems. Now it's art, so you don't have to be, like if a little bit of brown gets someplace where you don't want it to be, it's painting. Just pretend it's abstract and have fun with it. Do this one. My other card, I only used olive, but the paper has one of each color of olive and garden green. So I decided on this one, I'm going to do 2 colors. Because when I layered them over the top of each other, it makes a nice full bouquet of greenery. But you couldn't really tell that I had taken time to do 2. I'm going to go back and use that, so I'm going to leave it open. So let's do the old olive first, and we'll just do 1 in old olive. I just have a tissue here so I can squeeze. If you watched the peony one, I didn't have one. I had to squeeze it on my scrap paper. So just get this in here. And remember I said lots of water. If you use lots of water, I missed that little stem there, then it goes on faster. I don't care if I get the whole entire thing. Again, it's art and it's abstract. So I'm just brushing this first layer on like this. And in fact, I like to have a little bit of white on them. So I'm modeling it after the paper. So you can see on the paper, this is the olive one, and it's light olive, and then it's got some darker things that go up the middle. And because my paper is nice and wet, when I put this on, it kind of just smears into it. This time I'm not doing the whole way. But when you cut these out, you can see it also has that nice little embossed highlight on them, and the paint gets down in there on the second one, and it's really pretty. So there's this one. I'm going to go back and I'm going to add a second coat of the pecan so I can get those little areas that I missed. I don't have to get that terribly clean when you go from green to green. So this is garden green. You can tell at one point if I'm painting and I have a smaller area and I need a more concentrated color, I add a drop or two of the refill in there. And then you can work from that in your lid as well. And it just stays there, it doesn't dry up. And of course, when you're using it to watercolor with a water painter like this, or with a Stella, or with a blender pen, you're adding moisture to it anyway. So if it has dried up, it just reactivates as soon as you add that to it. Okay, so we've got this. Now I'm going to go back this second time, and because I have this here, I'm going to pull in a little bit more. So this is darker. And again, it's going on the wet paper, so it just kind of runs. With watercolor paper, more water is better because it does make your ink move around a little bit better. If it's dry, it just kind of sits on top. It doesn't do the watercolor thing. So don't be afraid. The water's free. You just fill it up in your little paintbrush. So if you're in Card Club, you have till the 10th, or if you want to join, you have till the 10th. So that's the day this video is hopefully posting. But you also, if you're already in Card Club and you want to add this and you haven't done so yet, then add it this particular month. My Card Club people can get the Vellum packet for free. So if you're in Card Club, you've gotten that information. If you join and you want to add this stuff on to get the free Vellum, then just let me know and I'll make sure that you have the email with all the information. Let's go back to this. Actually, I'm going to grab my Pebbled Path. I'll just use this for the highlights. I haven't watercolored with this one as much, you can tell. So I'm just going to kind of brush some highlights on it. And make sure I get that place that I missed, but that's on the other one. I like that. Now you can get super fancy and you can go back and add some more. Another coat. But over the summer, I concentrate on keeping my cards as many as I can, quick and easy. Not necessarily for Card Club, but for everything else. So you can also grab this now and just kind of give a little dash over that little embossed image. That's the one I missed. Make sure that one gets brown. I colored it green. Not that anybody's going to notice, but look how much that adds just doing that little brush of the Pebbled Path. On my other card, I used the Pecan Pie. So often it doesn't matter if you see somebody, a card, if you want to replicate it and you don't have the exact same things, often you can do just as well, and it just may have a little bit of a different look. Like this one's going to look a little bit different than my other one because I've now added the garden green and the Pebbled Path. But it's the same card. So don't get hung up on thinking you have to have all the exact same things to create a project. Let me get that color out of here. So when you have the water painter, you just want to make sure when you stop using it, unlike I did last time, but since I'm stopping now, I knew I was going to paint again. Just do it till this drips clean. Sometimes these can stain, but they tend to wash out over time, that nylon. So we have our little things here, and we're going to build a little bit of a bouquet. It's actually better if you let this dry a minute, but I don't have time for something to dry when I'm filming, so we're just going to go. You want to angle them so they're not right on top of each other, because they're obviously the same die, so I'm going to do them like this. Let me grab this scrap piece back real quick. And then for mine, I just took right here on the stem and I just added a little bit of my seal to hold it together. Now this is the ribbon that you get in Card Club this month. Most months they get a full spool of ribbon. And this month it's the cream. Doesn't need to be very long. And then just gently pick this up. And that's why I wanted to hold this together so it won't move as I tie this knot on here. My hands are really dirty now. They were not dirty before I started filming. Got ink all over me. So I'm gonna tie this, but I'm not gonna pull it super tight because then that's gonna move these. And I like these where they are. So I'm going to take this now and then decide, do you want it this way? Sometimes it makes a huge difference on which direction you have your paper going. So this way we have a lot of the greenery underneath, the garden green. If we go back this way, my knot's coming untied. I think I like it with the green underneath. So I'm going to take this. I would use glue if I was you, but I can't use glue and have it dry enough to do my next tying step. So I'm going to go ahead and use my seal. And to make sure that I get some of both, I'm going to grab some of the top, some of the bottom. It would probably stay a little bit easier and be a little bit easier to put on here if you used glue. But I want to tie a second knot on, and so if it's got glue, it's going to move. And this is why it's better when it's dry too. The paper is a little bit more sturdy. So I know I can't go just off the edge of this because this is cut a little bit smaller than 4 by 5 1/4. Get that all in there. Retie this little guy. And now because it's all stuck, I can pull that a little tighter and it's not gonna all move. Now let's take our tag. And I just have some of our white thread. I'm gonna go through both of them. Oops, maybe I will. There we go. See how much fun this would be to have a tag party? You got tags and Christmas music, and it's another project you could take if you're going off to the lake or camping, going on a vacation where you'll have some downtime, and just get a head start on a project because you really wouldn't have to take much at all. It's just a few greetings, grab all your embellishments that kind of are Christmas colors, and then just make them. So I have this. Now, for this, I want to make sure that my tag goes where I want it to go, but I want it to look also like it is part of the bouquet. But it's way easier to do this separate than the other. Sorry, I was trying to see if I could spot my tool. I didn't know where it was out of my sight. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to push it through. If you don't have this tip, you need this tip. It's my favorite tip. It's an all-purpose tip. You can use it with the dies. It actually picks up the embellishments really well as well. So if you're out of the putty would be my second favorite tip. So just push that through and you can see I've got it grabbed in the little hook. So it's easier than trying to tie all of this on its own. But it makes it all look like it was tied as part of the same bow. My other one, I think I have this in a bow. So we'll see if I left myself enough. There's plenty. And then I'll arrange all this once we get it on our card. So let's grab our pebbled path. The nice thing about this paper, especially if you're doing it for a wedding card, is you can kind of pull in the colors if you know the bride's colors. Because some of them go the brown tinge, some of them go more the gray tinge. Add this little strip of vanilla here. And this is simply to pop the vellum, because look, this on top isn't nearly as pretty as this on top. I'm gonna add this first. Then I'm gonna put my adhesive right here. If you watched the video with the peony, I kind of put the adhesive wherever, because that vellum was a little bit harder to see through. This one, because I've already done my card, I know that there's going to be stuff here and there, so it's going to get covered up. So this goes up top to bottom, and it has a little bit of a border on this side. I think it really helps make it pop nicely. And then I don't want this to dangle around. I love the fact that it's dangling, and I wish it could, but it would snap. Those are not very, you saw the tiny little stems those are on. So you need to just kind of maneuver this. And then I have some adhesive here. Make sure it's on the card. This piece can move. And then you can kind of spin this around. On my other one, I didn't like where this was because it was covering up the love you. So I intentionally glued it down over here, but this one's fine. The other one, there was nothing I could do, and it just covered up the love you. I felt like that was a little bit of a, send somebody a card that says love you and then don't let them see the love you. So just pull those out of the way. And then for the embellishments on this, I'm going to use, these are fabulous. They are part of my free gift with purchase this month. So head to my website and you can see the different things you can get this month. But these are the pecan pie and clear ribbon adhesive back dots. If you can see really closely, they have little pieces of silver ribbon in them. They're gorgeous. So let's take this, and I'll use my little hooky tip again. And then I'm just going to use 3 on this. Normally I use 5, 7, 9 embellishments, but I think on this one, I don't want to detract from all this that's going on up there. I don't want the tag to be as heavy as my design at the top. They really sparkle on that homemade shimmer paper. So here it is with the pebbled path added with 2 different colors. So, and then here it is on basic beige. And then that's all this painted the same. So I think I like the little brown centers better in pebbled path. It could be that these are just a little bit thicker because whenever I film, everything's a little heavier, a little darker, just because I'm trying to get it done. And then like I told you before, I ran this one through an embossing folder. You kind of see it, but I didn't think it made that much of a difference. So maybe though, because maybe you can see it through here more than I thought you could now that I see it flat. But it's up to you. It's your cards. You can do it however you like. So if you are interested in my card club, the information is down below the video. It's always on my website. On my website, you can join my email list, and then you always know what's going on. Everybody have a great day. Bye.